Good greetings, greetings, greetings to everyone and everything. We are the Dawn of Ascension show, and we're here to share our tools, our views, and our journey through these wild and wonky and crazy energetic times we're living through right now. And they're really wild and wonky, but they're kind of smoothing out. It's cool. So, my name is Arlene, and I'm here with my Ascension Soul team. Susie, Gina, and Aubrey. And today we would like to discuss unity. It seems like it's been something that's been coming up all around us. Unity and the unified field of your own self, the unity of yourself, and the absolute total picture of you, how you see you, and how others see you, but mainly how you see you so that you can see your reflection out in all the universe. That would be your emotions, your skills, your bumps and bruises as well, because they're all contracts that we have signed, and we need to figure those things out too. That would be those sad areas that sometimes we get sucked into. They need your attention now. Now's the time to sit with those areas and be quiet with them, and get in touch with them and love them. Aubrey, 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 I know you have a much broader view than my little entry, so let's have it.
Yeah, well, so unity is an interesting uh, concept because it's very easy to feel like what you're talking about being one thing when you're talking about unity, and that's not true. Source and oneness is where we all came from. We are all one consciousness experiencing through different perspectives, but we have chosen to experience through different perspectives. And so when we talk about unity, we're talking about really unifying yourself inside of your own perspective, and then the greater perspective of all of us working together. We are all really, really beautiful pieces of just a puzzle that you cannot even fathom. It is so big and it is so beautiful, and it's ever growing and ever changing. And we are meant to work together here. So there's been a lot of things in the way of doing that over the years as a human. Like, if humans have had a lot of roadblocks in the way of really acting like a unified presence. But a lot of those roadblocks are leaving right now. We're at a really exciting point in the ascension. I'm just really excited. And a lot of the goal right now is to unify yourself. And Gina's going to say a little bit more about this in a moment, but as souls, part of the process of learning often includes fracturization. So traumatic events that your soul has encountered will kind of break off a piece of your soul in order to learn something. And right now, the name of the game is bringing all of your pieces back. So like Arlene was saying, those places where you're feeling sad, those places where you feel lost or scared, those are often pieces of your soul that aren't unified inside of yourself. So spending a lot of time right now meditating into your heart space, your heart can magnetize all of your pieces back. And especially if you talk to it and invite that and ask for that. There are a lot of beings out there right now that are helping so much with this project. And you have the support, but you do need to choose into it. You need to choose to unify your own field, and you need to choose to make the changes in your life that are going to bring everything back together. And once you make that choice, you've got so much help.
Oh, thank you. Now, Gina, I know you have something to add to that too.
Well, I know for myself, I'll be 70 in a month. And so I've had a lot of years to do a lot of this work with myself. And I remember at one point the frequencies are very much more conducive to healing and connecting now as the vibrations are rising, as we're moving into ascension. So, but years ago, I remember spending about a year working at getting my little 3-year-old out from behind a brick wall. It's like I just could not see her. And she had put herself into a protective spot where she felt safe. And I had to break down that wall and to bring her out and give her a hug. And now she's with me a lot, and we have fun together at times. But it's now is the time to start looking at the different pieces of you that are behind walls or scared to come out of the closet or have hidden under the bed. It's time to start looking at those pieces that have had to leave because they didn't feel safe. Where did they go? It's time to bring them back. So if you can sit in meditation and just take some time to run through your field and see what pieces are there from your old crone, which you haven't gotten to yet, to your older self, to where you are now, to where you have recently come from, to your adolescence, to your child, even to your infant. That's a good place to start right now. Are all those pieces with you? Do they have any messages for you? Things for you to help you become more whole now? What do they need? Do they need a hug? Or do they need you to go outside and smell a rose? It's, or just spend some time looking at, does your teenager want to spend some time looking at the clouds? One of the main things that I'm getting right now is get your nose out of the internet and go connect outside. Connect with nature somehow, wherever you are, whether it's just going out and sitting on a chair and listening to the birds and the wind. What layers of things do you hear in your environment? Preferably with shoes off and feet on the ground. Or hug a tree, or sit and do this meditation of finding the different pieces of you with your back up against a tree. Trees really want to help right now. I think that's enough homework for
Yeah.
today. Anything to add, Aubrey or Arlene?
Yeah.
Aubrey mentioned the callback. We can call back ourselves, and I have for quite a few years did this little affirmation in calling back myself. I started years ago in doing that, but you just tune into your heart and you just say, I call in all of my pieces that have been fractured, scattered, taken, or controlled from me, and I call them back to me, cleansed and restored from this moment forward. And sometimes you see them coming, and sometimes you see them like in a long tunnel or something like that, and you can feel the different pieces. But that was the one way that I started calling back my pieces, and that worked for me. What do you think about that, Aubrey?
Yeah, I mean, like we all have an original blueprint from source for our frequency, and for like at any moment, at any given moment, no matter what timeline you're in, no matter what version of yourself you are, there is a blueprint from your higher self and from source for that version of you. And so when we're calling these pieces in, what we're doing is kind of puzzle piecing in our own blueprint. We're making sure that all the pieces are there, and just by having all of you in a unified field, your blueprint will then start moving those pieces and start interacting with those pieces for your highest good. And the thing is like anything in the universe, you can zoom in and then you zoom out, and often it looks very similar on a zoomed out state. And so the more of us that are calling our pieces back and becoming whole and choosing into that reality, the more that the unified field of the collective and and everybody else start doing the same thing. Because we are all, we have a blueprint for, humanity has a blueprint from source that is in our highest good. And the more that we bring back our pieces to interact with that blueprint, the more, and you are a piece, you're one of those pieces, the more that you bring you back, the more that we can all then start moving towards, not start, we have been moving towards the highest good. We're doing great. I'm really happy. But yeah, that's sort of how that works.
Good, good, good. Thank you for clarifying that. Susie. Now, what does your fairy card say about all of this?
Thanks, Arlene. I'm so happy with her card today. I'm always happy with her cards, but this one particularly says trust. We are to trust this today. And we have a little crystal cave here. We can see some crystals, and just, being in a cave, it's just a feeling of being sheltered, feeling safe, feeling protected. And this is definitely a place where your intuition can be activated. Intuition is so important. It's so important for all of us, just to have faith in yourself, and know that you're divinely guided, even when you have doubts. And just trust your feelings. Trust your feelings about others and about situations. Like, you're exactly where you need to be. And it also helps to follow nudges from your higher self, your soul. Listen to others, but you trust your instincts. Or whatever receives your care and attention will absolutely flourish. And I would just believe. Just believe in your intuition, no matter where it takes you. It was so fun on my ride home. I was away. It was a 3-hour ride. I was there with my auntie, and I said, what would be really fun if we didn't follow the map. We just sort of either went right or left or straight, but just let the car take you wherever and just see where you end up. Like, that is intuition. Like, you can do that. It is really fantastic. So everything was created, because someone believed that it was possible. So just trust, and you will get there. I don't know. I'm so excited. I love this card. I just really love it. Aubrey, we know that crystals have a consciousness for sure. They have a consciousness. And can you just help us understand how their crystal energy works? And I've noticed that, when you're working sometimes, Gina, Gina will send you a crystal grid. And Gina's so amazing. She always knows what crystal to send. So can you just help explain how all that works?
Yeah. Well, so crystals, the way that crystals work is really how anything works in a grid. It's like the different geometry in a crystal can hold different, it just has a different, English is really hard for this subject. I don't know. There's
It a way of fractalizing energies.
Yes, exactly. It's like how it would fractalize energy. And so different geometry and I teach 4-hour classes on this subject. So like we could talk about it, but it's like the way that different points in geometry relate to each other will change how something is transmuted or received or whatever you're using a crystal for. So when you use different types of crystals for different purposes, it kind of comes pre-programmed with the geometry of specific needs. But you can then, inside of that geometry, program it yourself. So you can use your crystal to hold information. You can use crystals to transmit information. You can use crystals to stabilize things. You can use them as portals. You could like there's kind of infinite ways you can use crystals. But getting to know different crystals, so even just holding a crystal and kind of you can feel the geometry in it. There's a resonance in it, and crystals are so cool because they have sort of, I don't want to say basic geometry because they are actually quite complicated, but they have sort of more simplified geometry that is easier, that it helps, it's inherently resonant. So when you tune into a crystal, then it helps your resonant field. It helps your geometry become also more resonant because it's kind of tuning into the simplified version of resonance, if that makes sense.
Oh, totally. Totally. Oh, wow, I get it.
So I was just getting to go back to some of the meditation of bringing in your whole self. Some good crystals to use for that would be malachite or tourmaline. Pretty much any color of tourmaline is wonderful. Also, rose quartz would be lovely, especially if there's a lot of injury that you're looking at. I just wanted to pull that in.
Ooh, I love malachite. So we're talking malachite and tourmaline are very grounded energies. Malachite has a lot of copper in it to help with that grounding, and the tourmaline is it's just cool and a very deep grounding energy.
Well, malachite is known as the stone of transformation.
Oh, really? Oh,
And
oh,
actually, I went to it way back, about 30 or 35 years ago. I went to a yard sale and they had I was just starting to get into metaphysical stuff, and they had this whole basket full of old necklace jewelry and stuff. And in there was a strand of malachite. And I bought it. And that jump started my whole awakening, if you will. Just saying.
that's crazy. That is so cool.
Very
I have
cool.
my most favorite piece, and it's called Bullseye Malachite. So I'm like, I'm bullseyeing to that spot. But yeah, a good bullseye piece of malachite. How funny. That's cool. So questions that they would like to add, please join us and mention them in the bottom. And but I think we have something, beep beep, some
Incoming
incoming messages. Beep 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 beep
Beep,
beep
beep,
beep.
beep, 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 beep.
Aubrey, who is here today?
Today's message is from Mother Earth. She wants everyone to know that we're doing great. There's a lot of clearing that's going to be happening over the next couple of days. It's really important to stay in your heart. If you are an energy worker and know how to clear energy, please help transmute. There's just kind of there's just been a lot of movement, and a lot of things have kind of been kicked off of Earth that we didn't want here, or that she didn't want here, which means that we also didn't want. And there's a lot of static energy that kind of needs to be vacuumed. So if you are a light worker and you know how to transmute, just in your general area, wherever you are, just spend some time just kind of clearing it out.
Get busy.
Thank you, Mother Earth, for that. And us transmuters are on the job. I would like to thank everyone and everything for joining us on our Dawn of Ascension show. And we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.